Happy Wednesday. You know, I
Happy
think
Wednesday.
I think we're gonna really like middle of the
Wednesdays.
week. You know,
Yeah,
I
midweek.
think we're gonna like it.
Like a midweek
Feels a little
riffing
bit more
fun.
active.
Yeah, that is like, what's up, everyone in the chat? It's already great to be able to chat with you before we even get started. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I like how that it's like we have this big intro video, but really we're here the whole time, just like hiding. It's kind of like a curtain, like pre-show. You're hiding behind the curtain. Everybody's already there. You're just pretending you're not there. So we just chat.
I'm not actually waiting for Will to show up, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. What you been up to this week?
Yeah, this week I agree with Wednesdays though. Like it's one of those things where like if we're going off the vibes of why we started Riff and Refine, like that whole
Okay.
thing of like, okay, I think Wednesday is a perfect time because like Friday was like a good okay, the week happened, nothing can change. So you riff, you're fine, next week happens. But this is like, okay, like I started the week. Now I can end it
Mm.
strong. Like I
Oh
I I
yeah,
I have a
we
lot,
you can riff, and
yeah,
then after our chat, you have plenty of time to refine, to
plenty of
riff again the
refining
next week.
left.
We were just in a constant riff cycle. That was the problem.
Yeah, exactly. We were just constantly riffing. You don't do much refining on the weekends. At least I don't.
I definitely
Um,
don't, unless you want to call parenting refining. But
you are
honestly, parenting
refining
is mostly
yourself
riffing.
and little toddlers at the same time.
Yes.
What's up, Jeff?
Jeff.
How
That's
you
Jeff, my
doing?
buddy Jeff. He is a sick designer.
Yes, I've
And
seen
I'm
he's
actually
been
going to
doing.
mention the tool he's building today.
Yeah,
He's got
I've been seeing that tool more and more. What's up, Jeff? How you doing? And then Chris, how you doing? Been busy. What's the busy thing?
Yeah, I want to
What's
know what
been
everybody's
keeping you
been up to.
riffing?
If you're hanging out, put what you've been up to in the chat.
Yeah, glad to have you here. My week has been pretty good. Yeah, it's always you got to recap. I think the part that's always throws me there is like I have to like think of like the end of last week and then the start of this week instead of just
Mm-hmm.
this week, but which is good because I think like I have been in this and it's been this way for a little bit, but I think like having a little bit of a more off uh hands-off approach to Laracon EU, which just happened on
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday, has been helping me. I've been in this world of I've been trying to follow as many people as I can, like Kent C. Dodds, Jason Langsdorff, as I always have been. But in this agentic space, how do you teach people while also realizing that like most of the teaching is not code anymore. Most of the teaching
Right.
is very much like, hey, this is how you think about a product now, or think about
Right.
like your problem or solution. And so like Laracon EU is great because they got more people excited for what AI is and for what
Mm-hmm.
Laravel is doing in AI. And then like the hands-off approach, like I got the chance to do like a couple calls this past week with people who have been using code but without AI, and then a
Right.
couple calls with people who have never touched code but started building applications with AI.
With
And so like
oh
I got to
yeah.
be like a little fly on the wall,
Oh,
and
it's so
it
fun.
was really helpful. It's one of those things where like I feel like I am relearning how to do what I've done the past couple of years, past
Right.
5+ years, just in a different light. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a riff process.
It is. It is. It's very much like a moving into. I guess it depends what kind. Like for design, like design has a lot of design is that like
Mm,
it's like how do you think about how something's built,
yeah,
because like that's what your job is. But engineering, so much of it has just been like what code makes this work
yeah,
for like the first part of your career. And it's not usually until you start getting into like senior or higher level roles where where part of your job is actually more of an expectation on, hey, you need to be thinking through like the higher level systems of like how this works, how this connects to other things. Like the best people were doing that from the start, but
oh yeah,
like now it's very much a case like, oh no, like all the way down to junior level, the skills that you need to be growing are the architectural and like the understanding like what systems need to be built, why they need to be built, how they need to be built, because you're not actually going to be getting in there and
mhm,
tinkering, you know?
yeah, yeah. It's more of like a understanding. I've been saying this for the past couple of months, but I think it becomes more and more clear
Mm-hmm.
that as I like talk to people and even just like the rumblings of Laracon EU and just seeing things and reading comments and everything like that is like it becomes now a thing of like, do you know the words to say to like your AI? Like I think
Right.
you know this for your design in terms of like you are a better designer if you can correctly articulate, hey,
Absolutely.
I don't just want the spacing between the letters. I want the kerning between the letters to be wider
Right.
or
Right.
less. Or
Terminology matters.
yeah, terminology matters so much more now because it's like, oh, I don't want this. Like, I want this page to not have to refresh itself in the database. Oh, so you want it cached. And so it's like all these little things that you have to like,
Could
I feel like that's like
speed
the
it up. Yeah.
teaching now. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're working with extremely smart, like if you use the right words,
Mm.
it knows all the information.
Yep.
But if you don't use the right words, what you're going to run into is like pruning problems,
Yeah.
focus problems. It's kind of like what you said, like you probably need less of the right words if things start moving in the way that you predicted like last week, of like
Yep.
if we have frameworks that are more opinionated and have more guardrails, then the less precise people need to be in their language. But I think it still is a boon to your coding process, especially with agents, to know more terminology, to be more specific in the language and the words that you use, for sure.
Yep. It's a wild time. Other than that, I've had a pretty good week. I feel like things have been going pretty well, and so I had some fun side projects I've been working on too. What about you? What's the past
Well, I
week
can't
look
wait
like?
to hear about those side projects. Speaking of side projects, I have been working on not my DAW. I need to get a name for it because I'm tired of saying that word.
You need to, yeah. Maybe we can do that this show.
Which,
We'll just be like,
yeah, I was going to say some more on that later, actually.
Okay, there we go. Ooh, you have like a little.
I've taken some time away from it, and tried to like make music, and I've jumped back to Ableton to do that because I need, something with actually all the features. So been jumping over there trying to make music. But also Allie, who is currently doing her master's program, she needed, like, this month, she has a lot more like visual stuff. And Allie is always a big fan of like, she's got a really good eye for design, but doesn't have any of the expertise in making it. So she knows when like the stuff that she makes is like, I know how good it can be, and this is not it.
Yeah.
And she's just like, hey, husband, would you like to, like help me out? And I'm always like, yeah, sure. And it's really fun doing that kind of stuff because it lets me like explore new styles that I don't really do for my own work. Cause it's like, okay, it's for education, early childhood education, but I don't want it to look like childish, but I want it to feel energetic. I want it to feel like exciting, and softer than usually my design aesthetic. So it's like really fun to work on that kind of stuff with her, and bring like her work to life visually. But yeah, she's crushing her masters. She's gotten, I kid you not, she's gotten 100s on every single assignment. Homegirl is like crazy. I'm like, legit, you have to call her Master Allie by the end of this program for sure.
I'm not a education person in the sense of like I don't do well in school. I did not do well in school.
It's like I do all right. Like I make sure I make A's, but I don't like go above and beyond for things that aren't what I'm in school for. For instance, in my industrial design major, I went above and beyond for all of my industrial design work, like every test, every project, because like that's what I was in school to learn. But I also had to take like an accounting class. I had to take, history class, English class, like all these other ones. And I'm like, I'm just going to do enough to get the grade that I need, but I'm not doing any more than that for this other stuff. Yeah. Josh, Jeff, I feel that I really didn't like school. I'm very hands-on learning. I am also very hands-on for sure.
Yeah. I was good at taking tests.
LOL. That's really funny.
I was good at taking tests. I was not good at like showing up to classes. I was like, I'll just learn it by myself. Like it's not helping me.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here. I could spend that same amount of time just reading on my own and get it figured out.
Yeah. So when the classes that I did fail, it was because I like missed more than I needed to pass, kind of thing.
That's really funny. Also, Jeff, I think you're among the right crowd. I think we are. if you can't tell by the type of things that me and Josh do, we are very much a learn by doing, not learn by studying type of crew here.
That's why we're here.
All right,
That's
Josh,
why the show exists.
what you got going on? What's on your mind this week?
Yeah, I opened up. I'm gonna pull this up. There's nothing too crazy to show, but there's a topic that I have been wanting to chat about a little bit.
Oh, look at Jeff gassing us up.
My favorite crew. I love it. I love it.
We need to get some merch so we can send to number one fans.
We need to just we just need to get like merch in general.
That'd be sick.
That'd be crazy. But fan of the show.
Ooh.
And like, so I wanted to talk a little bit about but other than Jeff, we have a couple of fans of the show. I'm okay with that. Like, we got Chris in the chat, we got Jeff in the chat, we got a couple other people in the chat. I'm loving it. But
We got
fan
John
and
Mr. What is I want to say Blaze, but it's not. It's Blade extraordinaire.
Yeah, John Blade extraordinaire in the chat too. A different John O'Nolan came out with this blog post, and I was saying we got to have him on the show. I did
it's been a minute
live stream last week, and John was there.
Oh, nice.
But we got to have him back on the show again. He was the first guest, I believe.
He was our very first guest.
So it's time.
This was like early, like right when AI was getting good too.
Yeah, this was like in September.
Like September, yeah.
It was probably like we've been on the AI train for a long time. If everyone thinks we're just train hoppers, I started building with AI in 2023. So
oh yeah, no biggie.
No big deal. No, he came out with this blog post, and it's like a hot topic right now. So I wanted to just get your thoughts.
Okay, I definitely want to hear about this. I've not read this.
For those who don't know, and for those who haven't read, I linked it in the in the chat. I'm going to link it through all chats as well here, so you can like kind of pop it in. But it is from John O'Nolan, john.o'nolan.org. It is open source in the age of AI. Because for those who don't know, who have not been following the news on X, Twitter, there was some crazy drama. There's always crazy drama, but even more crazier drama than normal between Cloudflare and the Triangle Company,
right?
Where Cloudflare cloned, and not really cloned. They
slot forked.
I love that term.
It's such a if we can say one thing about AI is that like people have gotten funny. Like it's like a whole new field for people to come up with like super fun branded names for like work that we do now. And slot fork is definitely one of my favorites.
Vibe coding, that was like the early one. You got slop fork, you got slop ship, you got slop stack. It's a fun time. But they slop forked Next.js, VNext, VI Next. And it's like, okay, that is one of the rules of, there's different open source licenses, and I am not a expert on open source licenses. Right. All I know is that open source, and this is a very rough level abstraction. All I know is that open source allows you to take the code, modify it, and do what you want with it, as a very general high level overview. So when people are like getting upset about, like this is a slop fork of Next.js and you're just calling it ViNext or something like that, or like there have been people, I would assume, and Taylor Otwell probably knows more than I do, but there have been people who probably have forked Laravel and added their own little abstractions on top of it or something like that. It's been going on throughout the world before AI, but AI makes it a little bit easier because you can be like, and the biggest thing that I want to touch on is like, there's this thing about tests. I don't know how much of like this drama has evolved around this, but it was like, they didn't really fork Next.js. They forked Next.js tests and then made sure that their new fork passed every single test.
All those tests. Yeah.
So I'm curious what your thoughts are on, Will, is like, what does, and this has been going on like for AI for like Tailwind, for example, they had like a huge thing, start of the year, end of last year, I think, where it was like, hey, we had to let a bunch of people go because not because of AI, but because of AI at the same time, where now, what they are making money on, documentation, templates, is now like super easy to be like, hey, let's just point this to our LLMs and like have it go for it. And they're evolving and tweaking stuff like that. But why do you think, what does open source look like in the world of AI? And should it or will it change?
Okay. So my opinion is echoed very concisely in this post by Dax.
Ooh.
So Dax, who is open code, LOL, is part of the open code team, one of the two founding creators of open code.
Yeah.
He had this tweet and it says this thing about I'm just going to share it.
Go for it.
We're just
Might as well.
also I figured out so I was like, you know how
really.
like you so quickly have been switching between the two like backgrounds during screen sharing?
Oh yeah.
It's like, how did you do that? And then I saw the tiny little button on the left-hand side of the screen and was like, oh, that's how he does it. So anyway, what?
Oh, that's
Maybe
not how I do it.
That's not how you do it. That definitely didn't work.
I literally just pressed those little layout buttons on the bottom, but that too.
Okay.
I think we can make this. Now that it's this, it will not change it from this, I think.
There we go. All right. It's this one right here where he says, he's the big pickle. Making their test private. You're either open source or you're not. Part of that is enabling a successor to show up for a net benefit of the world. Making that intentionally difficult is fine, but then it's something different. I think this is right. And the reason why I think it's right is I think a lot of people have tried to use open source as like a marketing stunt. Like people have used open source as like a way to get community favor. Like, hey, like us because we are open source.
We saw that a lot at the beginning of last year and more towards the end too as well. Like even before AI took off, I feel like there was like, it's like, the open source Calendly alternative, or the open source fill in the name. And so I was like, they're open source. They must be better.
But then we have this like way to monetize, but like us because we open source stuff. So you can run it by yourself if you want to, is kind of the thing. And I just think that is like people who are trying to do that were just not being honest with like the type of like, it's not open source. It is like open source marketing, or like, I don't know, like open core or something. Like there's like different ways of talking about it. But like the idea of open source is that like you are putting it out there, and if people like it, great. But if people see it and have like a better idea to build on top of it, then like you outship them, like if you're so concerned about like having like your idea be the one that wins, then have your idea be the one that wins through your own merit. But if somebody else can take your idea, tweak it, make it better, and other people like it more, then that's not their fault. That's your fault.
Yeah.
And like you chose open source. Like you chose it. Understand like what you're signing up for, and either be behind that mission, which is like you should be happy when somebody forks it because they saw your idea and were like, oh hey, this is really good, but what if it did this? And then people really like that next thing. Like that's just what open source is, and like if you want to make money, you got to find different ways to make money. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree, because like here's where this is maybe a hot take. I don't know if it is, but I think there's these unspoken rules of like open source where it's like, you should want to just make the thing that you are using better. And I think there's this thing. I kind of talked about this a little bit, and an example that I want to bring up in a little bit is Caleb Porzio with Flux, for example. But when I'm not like a traditional developer in the sense of like I have been building for a long time. I've just been like, hey, I'm sport engineer or building things, and then like I have slowly just taught myself enough or learned from everyone. I feel like there's like these open source unspoken rules where like, okay, if you're using this, you should just try to make a PR first And then
Yep.
if they don't want it, then you can fork and do this. Where it's like, but that's not what open source is. If you think that, hey, I just want to make this myself and I just am cloning this and I can call it whatever else, I can leave
Right.
half of it in there. And I think
Yep.
there's like this balance of, okay, if you are saying you wrote everything and you can, like,
Right.
I know people have
Honesty
cloned open
matters. Yeah.
code, for example, and they've left in open code. I think it was,
Yeah. I don't
there's some
remember what custom.
CLI.
Yeah. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
100%.
left in
And
open
like
code
people
and
notice that. You
yeah,
know,
you
like
notice that.
you've got to like suffer like I don't know, like we both are big fans of the Bible, and like it's so funny how things you read things and you're just like, I mean, how did they not already know that that is what was going to happen? It just says it so clearly here. You know, I
It's
saw
pretty
I saw
obvious.
this reel. I saw this reel the other day where it was like a 1 minute summary of Proverbs, or like 1 sentence summary of Proverbs, and it was the quote from Dwight where Dwight was like, "Before I do anything, I think,
I
would
asked
an
myself.
idiot do this? And if the answer is yes, I don't do that thing." I'm just like, it's that easy, folks. Like,
Like,
it's that easy. Like, did you think you were gonna get away with like forking some giant open source? Like, it depends on like how you frame it. And like the way
yep,
Cloudflare did it, in my opinion, was the right way of going about
correct.
it, in the
Yep,
sense that they were like, hey, we forked this very popular thing because we noticed a lot of problems about it, and there was no way what we were going to do aligned with their goals. So we made a new version of it, a new version of this approach for ourselves that we thought
yep,
would be better, you know, and like
yep,
with full credit saying like, hey, we got it from them and we made changes. Here is what we changed, why we changed it, how we changed it. You know, like that's completely different. And I noticed
yep.
this a lot when I was like early on in my career. I think there is definitely a vibe shift going on in the um I don't want to say like morality
Mm,
of the everyday coder, but it's
yeah,
just like there is a change in the it's kind of just like when, you know, like your parents are like, that's not how we did it in my day kind of vibe. Like I think that's happening because there are so many new people that are being introduced to like code as a resource.
yep,
Because there are so many people who are not engineers, but they're building stuff.
mm,
And so they think, oh, well, somebody just put it out there. AI already read all this stuff and is generating stuff for me. Like, why can't I just snag this too? You know?
yep,
So like I just think there's like just like a as with all things over time, there is a graying in the socially accepted best practices and manners among like a profession,
yeah.
because it's just widening in scope and demographic.
And you see it in the design world too. Like the guy who created Obsidian, I do not know the whole backstory, but the guy who like made Obsidian has a specific unique design style, or at least he
Mhm.
claims he does. And then Notion, like he believes Notion is copying it.
Right.
And
The
I have no
little
idea
face.
like the
Yep.
whole backstory and everything like that. But it's like one of those things where like, okay, where does the morality come from of do you have to then as an individual be like, hey, I made this and I was completely inspired by this and this. And sometimes you're like, I don't even remember seeing that, but I must have captured it in my memory and then done it. Like, I don't think anyone is like, I don't think the funny thing is I don't think he is wrong. The Obsidian dude is wrong for wanting maybe like some recognition. But I also don't think Notion is wrong for also just being like, hey, this is
Yep.
pretty cool design style.
Same
Let's
in
run with it.
music, you know, like
Yeah.
sampling. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
sample old music. Like, are you stealing that music? There's some threshold where it becomes stealing, you know, like, or
No.
there's some threshold
Past
where
11 seconds.
right, right. You know, like there's just like there are these thresholds, and people just have to decide in a case by case basis how like what that threshold means, and like context matters. Unfortunately, you want to know what else matters? Like how much that person is liked,
Ooh,
because like if it's somebody who like people just generally don't like because they think they're a douchebag or something, like
yeah.
the second that that person does anything remotely close to like a copying of a design of somebody else,
Mhm.
everyone's gonna pile on. But if somebody
Yep.
who's like super well loved just like like gets something that looks copied, then people are like gonna give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
in it. So like it's just who knows? You've got to be able to answer that for yourself. And
Yep.
like you just got to be able to like approach things with like best intentions on your side. You can't control what everybody else does. What up, Pushback?
Hey,
I'm
Bushback.
assuming that I just mispronounced your name, but good to have you here on the stream.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's like that. This is what, for those who follow Caleb Porzio, creator of Livewire, creator of Flux, he has his own little notes on work podcast where he just talks about like everything. And before he was like even releasing Flux, he went through this whole process of like, oh, I want this to be open source, the bare bone, like the JavaScript
Mhm.
web assembly,
Yep.
or not WebAssembly, but the web components.
There we go.
That was like the core of Flux. He's like, I want this to be open source because it's good, but I also don't want people to steal it. So I'm not going to make it open source, or I'll make it like really refined. Yeah, he's like, I want to make money, and so it eventually made it not open source and only free components for like a certain limitation. So I think like it's good to wrestle with it, and it's good to also know like you don't have to be open source.
Did you hear the news about PlanetScale and Drizzle?
No, I knew the PlanetScale bought Drizzle. I don't know anything else.
That's the news.
That.
That's the news.
Oh,
so like this, that like goes right in line with that whole idea, which is just like you've got to figure out like where your income is coming from. And like if you are committed to having something be open source, like Drizzle is like, this is going to be the open source solution for ORM for TypeScript, like the best ORM. We believe in this. This is how we want to keep it. They just had to like work on it as they could in their free time. They had to find jobs. They all had to have like, they were all trying to make money some other way to keep the project going. And PlanetScale believed in that vision. And like, this happens to a lot of open source projects that like make a huge impact. Like you can think about like a lot of language creators. You could like, same with like React, like Facebook funded it. Like some company usually funds it if it's meaningful enough of work for a community or for a like specific area. Like some company will realize the meaning of that work and support your work if what you're doing is like impactful enough. And like unfortunately but like that is just like an outcome that only comes when you like commit yourself to like a vision and sticking with it, even though like it's really hard to make money in open source. And like Caleb's was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to get a company to fund this. So I've got to find a way to make it sustainable for myself,
And like you think about like everyone's talking about like how the creator of OpenClaw now has a job, but most people don't realize that he had like, I don't know, like if you look at his GitHub repositories, like he has like hundreds of incredible open source stuff that he's been doing for tens of years. And OpenClaw just ended up taking off. It probably wasn't it probably isn't even his most impressive work, honestly.
Like his most impressive like engineering line by line. If you think about like the most complex or the most impressive, it's probably not OpenClaw. He just happened to get the right solution and he had enough reps in doing open source to be able to like run with it and maintain it,
Exactly.
Wild.
What do you got for us, Will? What's something that's been on your mind?
I think we need to address
jump to the big thing.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and knock it out. I titled this one, I Think I'm Done.
Oh no.
This morning.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
We'll find out. This morning I was scrolling through X. And I saw Raycast's announcement.
Okay.
And Raycast has this announcement where they have created like a AI like Mac app generator, like where you can just generate whatever Mac app you want. And then I saw that there was like this one part of their launch was this like synth that somebody AI generated. And it is like dang good. And like I end up looking up the guy who like made it. I thought at first it was like just somebody on the Raycast team, just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a synth? I was like, man, that's pretty dang good. Turns out like the guy's like super, super, super competent at music and like edit. Like he is very, very familiar with like editing music and production and all that kind of stuff, which makes a lot of sense. but still, like, it kind of set me on like a doom spiral. And then like I just like I'm scrolling through X, and like every post is somebody launching something. Like every single post is somebody saying, "Hey, I launched this. Hey, I launched this. Like, hey, I built this. Hey, I did this." And it's just like I realized that it was just all noise.
Mm.
It was all noise. Like I didn't care.
Yeah.
I just saw him. I was like, "Cool. So did this other guy." You know, like, yeah,
Yeah.
somebody else made something. Somebody else
Yeah.
shipped something. You know, like, and I'm like, crap. Like that's me. Like I'm the guy who just makes stuff. And now I'm like bored with myself. I'm
Okay.
just like realizing like crap. You know, like I'm having this first like doomer moment of like, okay, everything that I self-identify is like important to me now maybe doesn't matter. Is just this
Mm.
like spiral that just starts happening. Um and so I just like got to this point that I was like, you know what? I think I'm done. Like I think I'm done. Like I'm just out. I'm out. I need to like take some time to think about
Mm.
this and like figure out what is the path forward for myself, you know?
Mm.
And like
Interesting.
that was an overreaction. a bit of an overreaction.
You've had like a roller coaster kind of morning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. But here is like, and you know, like Allie always says, like, I have ADHD. I've just never been diagnosed. Who knows? I'm not gonna try and like steal any of that. But I do like I go in cycles a lot. And so like let me just think about this cycle also moved pretty quickly throughout the morning.
Mm.
Um but kind of like what I think it all comes down to, I saw this post that somebody put where they were talking about like meditation, and they're like, I'm not good at meditation yet, but here's like what I've learned throughout trying to understand like meditation and being better at it, which is like the truth is you can't control like whatever thoughts pop into your head are like who you think you are. They control your self-perception of like the type of person you are, the type of actions you take.
Yeah.
And so like controlling the narrative inside your head is like very important for like your self-confidence and your like ability to move throughout a day and how you like interact outside
Mm.
of yourself. And so like I don't know, like that just like let me take a second and kind of like get my own control over like what thoughts are going through my head.
Mm.
Um and so what I have come up with for myself is that like everything's fine. But I think what I need is I need more creation time,
Mm. Okay.
like in my like deep creation time that requires like me to do it, me to be the
Mm.
one doing it.
Yeah.
That means like not AI, which like AI is great. And I love using it and I will continue to use it. But I want to like build in more like creative outlets for things that require just like me doing all of the work or a lot of the
Yeah.
work. So and I've been thinking about this since you mentioned it. But what I think I'm going to try and start doing, I've reached kind of this point with the DAW where I don't know what I'm doing
Mm.
anymore. For
Yeah.
like, I know I can just start shipping stuff. And like I could keep shipping features, I could keep shipping things that I notice other dolls have, but I don't understand them currently.
The
So I don't know
reason
like
for
my
why you're
opinion on it.
building it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna start trying to make music every day, like you.
Nice.
I thought that was a really good idea. I think it's a really I tried it and I don't think I'll actually do it every day, but I'm going to try every day to make something.
Yeah.
And I tried this week. And I had this tweet that was just like mastery only comes at like through suffering or something like that. And I was like my internal monologue trying to make good music because I was just like, man, this sucks. Like this is not good. Like I know what good music sounds like, and this is not it. And I was just like, this is terrible. This feels just like design. The DAW that I use is Ableton for this kind of stuff, but I'm also building one. So, but like I'm gonna try and use a bunch of different ones, but I'm gonna start with Ableton and still till I feel like I got my feet under me making music or like getting into a rhythm. And then once I get into a rhythm of it and I start getting more opinions on like how, like what things need to happen in the DAW that I'm building, I want to try doing the same stuff in other DAWs. But anyway, hopefully that answers your question, Jacob. But yeah, I want to try to make music. The way I want to do it is like, you remember months ago we had this there's this X account or Twitter account that he did just like micro stories every day for like a year.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I think you showed that, right?
his whole stuff got like bought by like Warner Brothers or something and got
Yeah.
licensed for him to do some work. Like I'm not trying to set out to do that. That is not my goal. But I love his like approach to where it's like do something really small that you can do. So I
Yeah.
want to try and do like I saw this like Dead Mouse clip that was like you can make any song in 12 bars.
Mm.
And so like I want to try to do something like that where he's like, and it's just like that's just like 23 seconds.
Yeah.
And so it's like I want to try and make some kind of micro something like that every day, like some kind of like that layers in, like all the different, like I watched some videos since absolutely like failing at making something, and it was like like bass, beat, like drum, mids, lead, vocals, like whatever. So it's like I'm gonna try and create one clip that kind of has all the layers that it's supposed to. Just make one 12-bar music clip as frequently as I can. I'm gonna try every day. We'll see. We'll see, because it takes time. But yeah, I think I need to do more of that. And I don't know. I'll give you some. I have another follow up to that, but I've talked a lot, so I'm going to give you some space now that I have just word vomited all of that.
Yeah. No, the things that I think of through, and Jacob, yeah, GarageBand is great. I think GarageBand is like also a great tool to be like, hey, how do I even like start doing this? Like you can make
Right.
people have made full albums on GarageBand and less kind of thing. But yeah, like I think like we get in for things that are creative like that, and even like before AI with coding, you got into this world of like, oh, I'm just going to like I can't build this project yet until let me try a different stack first. And then like you get into this world of like this FOMO of I haven't tried Vue, maybe that will click with me. And then let me just start building in Vue. And you never finish like the actual project. I think of that within now that we have like AI that finishes things quickly, and we can be like, hey, this, I built this app in React. Let's build it in Vue, and it will just do it for us.
Yep.
I think it's more important now. And it's funny that you did that rant because of my next topic that I had a while ago. This was like, this was maybe like 2 guests ago. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I said something to the fact of like, my thought is that when I was like at the very end of the show, and you're like, yo, you should write that down for later. My thought is that the best way to learn how to code is to make an app every day.
Okay.
Because it's funny because it's exactly how you're thinking about like the music, which I agree, is the past like couple of weeks, I've just been like, hey, let me take a look at like what does Rust actually do? Or like what does Solid.js actually do? And I'm just going to, with AI, build something incredibly small.
Right.
But then I know of like, okay, here's the reason, here's just by looking at it, or even just looking at the outcome and what the AI was like trying to do with it. Here's the reasons why it's it has like really awesome features. Here's the reasons why it probably is like a little bit more difficult to do that than
Right.
something else.
Right.
And I think like we forget how much like a full opinion on something helps change.
Yes.
So when you're like writing music, and I've noticed this even the things of like, I'll build like something completely out and it will sound good. And then I'll come back into like the next day. I'm like, I don't like that at all. And then you'll start again. But now I'll be like, I liked that one
Right.
note.
It is colored by the experience you had the day before. Yep.
Yep. And then you eventually like your tastes start to like rise and fall and like change, which is
Right.
really
Right.
crazy.
This
Um,
is a very common, like, this is what becoming like a designer, artist, like any type of creative is. That is the
yeah.
journey of being. And like I think it's the journey of anything, if I'm being honest. Anything that requires you to make something new out of nothing.
Mm,
If that is like what defines your role, then like that cycle is so important.
yeah.
Like you have to make things, you have to make a broad range of things, you have to try a bunch of new things, because the only way that you start forming your own, so it matters a lot in art specifically, and I'd assume music a lot, and design, because like you are defined by like your style. And like you only have a style when you create a lot, because
Mm,
then you, like you mentioned, you listen to your work over a period of time. I saw this clip the other day. There's this that Tape Notes podcast, that I shared with you a few clips already on here. It is a
yeah.
great podcast. It's just like interviews with like really good musicians, producers, and it just dives deep into their workflows, as well as just like personal stories about like their life as a musician and stuff. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the things that I just saw this week was like he was explaining, and this is the way that is with all of them. They were explaining like, hey, this is like my favorite tool, and I use it this really weird way. And this is like
Yeah.
why my music sounds this specific way, is because one day, like you're saying, one day I tried this one thing and I was like, this is so cool. And then like now it's just become a part of my work. Like how, like when
Yeah.
people work with me, they expect this thing because like I figured it out by trying a bunch of different stuff. It's like the same way with um like art styles, animation styles. Like you can watch movies and animations and be like, that is like, I know who this like artist is
Yeah.
because like this looks like them. And
Yeah.
like if somebody else does something that same style, you don't say like, wow. Like you still look at it and you don't think of the person that copied them. You think of the person
Yeah.
who like came up with it. And like that's just like, that's just like that's it. That's part of
Yeah.
it. Like that is what I need to discover and find, is like my own opinion. And like any type of product, any type of project that you're working on, like the company that you work for, like you've got to start forming opinions on the companies that you work for if you want to be like a good employee. Because
Yeah.
if you have no opinions and you're just there to like make, like to do whatever you're being told, then like you're never going to like move forward in your career. Like you got to have opinions.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's like, you know, right out the gates, like this is a Tim Burton movie or something like that. Like, you know, right out the gate that this is like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, it's
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
that's
there is a
their taste,
style.
like defined, even though they are one small little part, usually, of what
Mhm.
has happened. You're like, you can sense that in the actual
Yeah.
final product. And I think that's what's interesting with AI specifically is I think if like me or you were given the task of like, hey, the same AI tools, it's still going to look more of like what I do versus what you do
Mhm.
because it's just a tool. But at the same time, where I think it's interesting is like when it comes to like music design, some of those what I would call maybe like more lower level creativity is like there's only really one way with AI and maybe even without AI to build an application,
Mhm.
you need a back end and a front end and a design.
Yep.
It's not like you can be like, "Oh, I'm gonna start with the front end first today. Oh, and tomorrow I'm gonna start with the back end first." Like it's like, oh, there's only like 3 ways
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
start to get to
Yeah.
that process.
There's no making
Within
up new things. Like,
Yes. Within music design, there's like an infinite number of ways that you can get to a final result. And so it's like, oh, like
I don't even wanna
if you
talk
are
about it.
watching
It is so
10
frustrating.
people, it's 10 different ways that they're going to get to that. If you're watching 10 people build an app, it's usually different ways that they're going to get to the final result.
Right.
So like that's what the part that always interests me, and the part where I think like what you mentioned of like the constant repetition of it, which is something that I think both me and you are like huge advocates for, is like you're never going to get
Mhm.
good at it unless you
Reps.
consistently do it over and
Reps
over
on
again.
reps.
Riff and refine.
Absolutely. Ah,
That's the show. Wrap it up.
that's the show, we're done. Oh, goodness.
Final season.
Um, so what this, like, led me down so when I was making the music
Yeah.
the other day, what I realized was, like, I had this, like, moment where I was just like, "This is really hard." Like, there's too
Mm,
many options, like, what do I use here? Like, how can I change this to be something else that I want? Like, how can I like, I just want to, like, try and, like and I was trying to, like, think of, like, how I wanted to be making this. I was like, "I just want to prototype." Like,
no.
I want to prototype some options first. Like, I wanna try a bunch of different stuff quickly, and I'm not good enough to do that. Like, people who are, like, extremely good producers or musicians can prototype in Ableton with all its tooling, all the full tools, like, the full tool set, the whole thing. Like, they can move so fast and try a bunch of different things very quickly because they
Mm,
know the ins and outs of how everything works. Like, I can't. I don't know how
no.
it works. I just don't get it. I don't understand music enough yet. And I will get there eventually, but I don't want to, like, have to spend multiple hours to do that process in the
Yeah.
meantime. So I was like, I need a faster way to, like, create throwaway music.
Yeah.
Like the same with like when you're building an app or I'm building a design, like it's very easy. Like if I'm prototyping an app or a design, like with AI, it's just like, hey, I want to try and do this thing. Like, is it possible? What are the different ways of doing it? Can you like make it do these three different things? And I'm going to try them out and like see what I like about them. And then I'll decide on one after that. And it's like a very quick, like, it's a very quick, what's the word? It's a cycle. It's a feedback loop. There we go. Got there. Like, you need a quick feedback loop
Yeah.
for any creative process. And like for like design, that's like a sketchbook and a pen. Or
Mm,
it's like Figma, but you don't actually do high fidelity. You just throw boxes around and try like balancing layouts and trying different things. And like maybe you go super high detail on this one thing, but everything else is kind of like fuzzy. You're not sure yet. Like there are so many different like tools for like prototyping.
yeah.
At like different fidelities in those two because I'm extremely familiar with them. I am not familiar with like what prototyping looks like in music. I gave it some more thought and I realized prototyping in music is like all like instruments. Like instruments are like prototyping, but that takes like people who know how to play them. And like I don't know how to play instruments,
Yeah.
like prototyping for a musician is like you're kind of humming, you're like playing a guitar, you're just trying a bunch of different stuff until you find something that you like, or like you're playing the piano and you're just trying a bunch of different stuff until you find like stuff that you like. Drum machines, exactly. Like you try things on like a drum machine, or like you have like custom synthesizers. Like for example, the This Is Noise synthesizer that you have, or the Orchid,
Yeah.
those are prototyping machines. Like they and that was like, that's what I need. Like I need something that is like I need a prototyping tool for myself with the resources that I have that I can like try out notes. I can try out chords without needing to know where to place my fingers to do them because it's like I could learn that. But once again, I'm just trying to make music. I'm not trying to become like a musician. I wouldn't mind learning how to do that eventually along the
Yeah.
path, but like I need something now for a feedback loop. And so I was just like, okay, I'm back to square one. Like I need to make like a little app. Like that is like that is now where the DAW is gonna be headed, I think. As like a phase one,
Yeah.
which is just like how can I create like a super like the perfect music prototyping tool for myself before moving into something
Mhm.
like as full featured as like an Ableton.
Yeah.
Um, and that means like don't try to copy the full like maybe have it in there for like if I want to like tweak some things, but like
Yeah.
what is the like user experience, the design layer I can put on top of things so that I can like move really quickly about through like different options of music, like
Yeah.
how like notes, chords, like presets, all that kind of stuff. Like what does that look like to make it as simple as possible? So it's like we went through the full feedback loop of like the doom cycle where it's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what is the point to like, okay, I need to create more. Okay, I created more. I did some more. Oh, but like this part of the process was like really tough. Oh, I guess I can make something like, what if I made something that made that easier for me with my specific needs of like not being a musician?
Mhm.
Um, and it's like, boom, like now I have focus in a direction.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like that approach because I think that's where it kind of goes back to like our last conversation. It's like two conversations ago that we were thinking of.
mhm.
Jacob says you should try to build a digital clone of one of the physical drum machines. The law DAWs basically started as clones of.
Yeah, no, the beats, like I've been diving super deep into synthesizers, but like drums, drum
Mhm.
kit stuff is like definitely now high on the list because I've got that is a like core part of making any song.
Yep.
So I got to figure that out.
But I think you're onto something because I think like the biggest thing that would be interesting to do, and like what I am like almost I have not started building a full DAW yet on my like uh my little
Right.
app that
Heck
I'm
yeah.
building.
Mhm.
But I have gotten to the point where like, oh, this is almost now my scratch pad. I have a bunch of different sounds. Now I'm like, it would be nice if I could record like have like some drum beats
Mhm.
and then start recording over them.
Yeah.
And so now I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm just gonna start building a DAW in this app kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
think like
exactly. Like
y-
just something generated. Like it doesn't have to be the final result, but like what can I like put out there to help me create some feedback loop. It's like what
yep,
are, for instance, one thing I was thinking about is like what are common, like what, to your point, what are common like drum beats, like what are common like percussion formats that people
yep,
use? Can we just like drop those in to start out with to just try a bunch of different stuff, and then
yep,
maybe we loop back to that and like we remove the stock one and we make something custom that now matches like the thing we made ourselves. Like what is that mix in the like that workflow of like trying new things, getting some sort of like filler in there so you're not working from like the empty canvas kind of
mhm.
thing, you know?
But I think you're taking the right approach because it's like it's it goes back to like that personal software thing that I'm like really a fan of right now. Is one kind of like your existential crisis this morning. Now you have a thing of like, oh, the reason why I'm building this is so that I can be more creative.
Right.
So that now you're thinking through like this process of, okay, well, how do I like to do this? And then
Right.
I'm going to
Right.
build that around me. And
Yep.
like that's been the interesting part about even just like the last, I've only been doing 2 weeks and I have two songs and then like just like some like those little scratch pad stuff. But I've slowly gotten to the point of like, oh, the way I like to start a song is this way. And I like
Right.
to use, like the orchid, or I
Yeah.
like to use like the synths presets that I have like set up with like my
Right.
application
Once
kind of thing.
you've
Like,
tweaked around and you're like, "This is my style." Yeah.
yep. And then I grab my guitar and I can play like acoustically over that. And then I start singing. So like it's like this is the process that I get to go to the point that I want to get to. And now
Mhm.
how do I build a workflow around it?
Yep.
How do I build an app around
Yes.
it, even kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a starter kit for for music.
That's what. Okay. I'm glad we're back to this because, like, did you guys stop publishing to Apple Podcasts? Funny you should mention that. I'll let Josh.
um,
We can address that at some later point. Um, right now,
sorry, Josh. Yes, but I
not
say
because
I'm
we're
working
not
on it.
doing the show or like we were like made some decision to not
They
publish
are all
as a podcast.
saved.
We're just not publishing the show as a podcast currently.
Yeah, not because of a conscious decision, because
Yeah.
of
Lazy,
yeah.
distraction, lots of other stuff going on.
I need
Honestly, I
StreamYard
should
to have
help
an
with all of
API,
this too.
and I could have just had Claude do this all the time. But
Right.
maybe like I can just give it a headless browser and download because like I don't want to
Dude,
click 5 times
Agent
to
Browser.
download.
Yeah, that's a good use case for Agent Browser now.
There you go. Okay, I'll just have I'll fix it, Josh. Don't be
Josh
surprised
just
when you
comes
see
in
like
hot with like,
20
why do y'all
episodes.
suck?
Yeah, yeah. Just don't be surprised,
Oh.
Josh, when there's like 30 episodes in your
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts next week.
There we go. So I think the
Starter kits.
yes, starter kits. I think that that's just like I think we are moving away from like fully built tools
Mm.
to help some generalized workflow to like how can we provide toolkits for people to like create their own workflows.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the I'm not going to use that word. I'm going to think of another word. That's where like all of the greenfield is
Mm.
moving forward. I was going to say
Yeah.
alpha, but alpha's such a dumb word. That's like where the upside is, currently, which is just like either like you need to be building your own stuff, building a lot of stuff, and then figuring out like, hey, like what did you need to get where you landed, and like what parts were like repetitive, like what parts did you do like all the time, and like would you do those across projects, and is like once you start identifying those things, like for instance, like what you're saying is like, okay, you've got a specific music workflow
Yeah.
that you have, like instead of everything being packaged into like this one giant DAW thing that has like a predefined way of like how you should put music together, like maybe what you have instead is like a set of like a toolkit set where people can be like, well, I already have like all the like instruments that I could possibly need, but like maybe I need like a better like a preset library, like a way to like save and take with me my presets, like what you said. Like I don't know, like whatever those little smaller tools are, to where it's like how like you give people more freedom to build the thing they want to, but there's still a lot of grunt work behind that. Like people don't want to build it themselves. They just want the like here. Okay, I had to ramble a while to get where I wanted to go with this as my brain processed it. But people are going to become like IKEA.
Yeah.
Like you are going to go, or Lego, like somebody has to make the Legos. Somebody has to make the things that snap together. People don't want to make the things that snap together. They just want to snap things together,
Yep.
and like they want to snap together whatever version of it that they want to do. Like they don't need the instructions for like how the final thing looks.
Yeah.
Because they already know what they want it to look like, but they don't want to do it from like nothing. They don't want to be like, all right, we've got some plastic pellets here. Like, what kind of building block should we use? It's like, no, give people building blocks and let them build whatever they want to.
Yeah.
I think that's where like the future greenfield is currently.
I can see that.
And since Josh is here, I'll throw him a bone. Also, like infra, like giving people a good place to like the things that you built, where do you put them so other people can use them or interact with them? Like that is always going to be the case because nobody's going to be like rolling their own global infrastructure. Like that just isn't going to happen.
Nobody would be that crazy, right, Josh?
No. I do think there might be a case for like people like there might be like more interesting toolkits for like people to do um like self-hosting things like just in my home. Like there's no need to go offload this on some like other server or somewhere else. Like what are they going to be like the interesting use cases for like an always on computer server type situation for me to like put all of my like custom built software stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
Anyway, got anything else today, Josh?
Only like a really, really small thing. This is more just like a little shout out tool that I have used pretty extensively in the last couple of weeks, and it's just been super nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
It is called, and now I'm like blanking on it. I got two more things. I'll say one. But I have been building. There's nothing to show for it yet, but I'm curious. It's like that going back to like that uh, personal projects, personal software kind of thing.
Yep.
I'm building my own agent orchestrator because
Ooh.
I've learned. What was that?
I said that tracks. Everyone's doing one these days.
That's right. Everyone's building one. I've learned that like every single thing is usually created for that particular purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I need things that are made like for my purpose and for the things that I like to do.
Right.
And so yeah, it's been fun building that.
What have you learned building it?
I think I have learned kind of two things building it. One, here's the three features that I like that I wanted to build in it. One is I always want to take my work that I am doing. Let's say, um, it's like I am on the weekend and I'm like, hey, this would be fun to do. I don't want to go to my laptop and kick off something, but I also want to have it be locally on my laptop. And so I've found some like tools over the use case for this of like there's like Happy Coder and there's like stuff like that. But like
Right.
but then it is either like a terrible UI because I'm building it in like a terminal. And sometimes I just want to be like, hey, here's the thing I want, just do it. And then
Yep.
I don't want to have to like babysit it.
Right.
So I want like the ability to like create a task of like, hey, this thing is broken. I don't even care if this gets fixed right now. I just want to like make a note of it. Yes, you probably should like use like GitHub issues or something like that, but like that kind of sucks from like a phone too. Jesse, good to see you. How are you? But so I had like this feature of like, okay, I want it to be web based
Right.
because I want to be able to just kick it off from my phone. And then two, I want to be able to like see everything that is happening at once. So like if I have 10 different tasks running, I want to be able to see them and like go back into them and not have to
Right.
like pull them up in my terminal. So that's like the main thing of like agent orchestration. The thing that I have learned is that it is the hooks within any agent are powerful and probably underused in the sense of
Mm-hmm.
like almost every single agent, open code, Claude Code, Cursor CLI has the thing of like, okay, when a prompt starts,
An agent harness. That to me, those
yeah,
are agent harnesses, not agents. Right.
agent harnesses. Yep, you're correct. Agent harnesses, almost an agentic development, almost always
Correct.
has
Yes.
hooks,
The hooks.
and
Yep.
like being able to hook into those hooks is incredible.
We love hooking
Because I can just like send a post request to a website
as a
that I
hook.
have as a hook.
Yeah.
It's like okay, and I could technically every I learned what like the best way to like do a daemon. WebSockets are probably not the best way. There's probably, I mean, you could use WebSockets, but you don't necessarily need to because an agent harness does not within an agent does not write. It's not like I need near instant access, but every
Right.
5 seconds I can post to a specific response and be like, oh
Yeah.
hey, it's now doing this,
Yep.
and they can change. Another thing is
Especially for your
diffs.com.
use case. It's not like you're monitoring it. You're
Yeah,
just like
I'm not
checking in.
I'm checking in. I'm checking in.
Right.
And like I just like I don't need to monitor it because like I want to see it done, not
Right.
just that. And the other thing that I've learned is that um, CLI tools are incredibly powerful in the sense of like if you can just so like I created my own daemon
Okay.
that I can run it once, and it's not like I have to. I could close my laptop and it's offline, but because of it being a long running process, I could initiate terminal instances from my laptop while it's
Closed.
closed.
Yep.
I
Because
was
it's
like,
just
oh,
a
like
computer. It's not
it's
you're
just a
just you
computer.
just turned off the display.
I just turned off the display. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's stuff like that that like sometimes we forget like the limitations that we think are there is
Right.
not meant to sound as grand as it is
Right.
going to sound.
Right.
Limitations that we think are there are only pre-composed limitations that we have in our head. Typically.
Yes. Yeah. No, that goes back to like what we originally were talking about, which is just like the more that you do things, the more that you try different things, the broader your like ability to like you now know how daemons work, and
Yep.
like you may now have like a ton of interesting new ideas or use cases that become possible in your mind when something like when lightning strikes, you now
Yep.
have more tools, more resources to like pull into some problem that you face
Yep.
as like potential solutions that you would not have had before.
Exactly.
Love that. Love
Last
that.
little thing I have, just a little snippet. And Jesse, we are doing wonderful. It's been a good day. Hopefully you have been doing good. Were you at Lyricon EU? I think you were. Maybe I could be wrong. This tool, openusage.ai.
Okay.
I have used because now I fluctuate between plans in the past like 6 months.
Okay.
I've done all of them in the sense of like the $200 a month Codex. I've done the $200 a month Claude.
Right.
Now I am on like almost every plan, but like the $20 a month version of it.
Oh, smart.
And in my toolbar, I can just see, oh, like I have
it's pretty cool.
I have like let's see, I have my $20 limit left for AMP for the day. So I should start using AMP. My cursor is almost done.
Yep.
So I should probably stop using cursor. But my Codex is like done completely. I have to wait 3 days for that to reset. And Claude, I could use Claude. So it's like a great little view of like, oh, instead of me kicking this off in Claude, I'm actually going to kick this off in Codex just because I have more credits, more tokens. It's nice to be able to see it.
It's like a forcing function for trying different, like honestly, like that there's a lot of benefit to doing that because now you understand what different models are uniquely good and capable at because you're just trying a bunch of different stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And the neat part is I have learned that like not only is it forcing me to try new models, but it's also forcing me to think of like how, because before I didn't really have a good insight onto how much actual tokens is Opus using and how much of like my $20, $100, whatever limit is it actually using. And I've learned that Codex has been more cost effective for like the same output.
Interesting.
In the sense of like I can run 3 large tasks in Codex in a day and have it like barely touch my daily limit. 3 large tasks in Opus Claude code in a day is like
gone.
Daily limit's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really crazy. It's a fun tool.
That is really
I don't think it works with open code yet. I also did do the open code
like they're
plan.
yeah. They're like really cheap one for like the open source models.
Yeah. I wonder if someone has a PR for the open code.
That's
the
sweet.
open usage
check that out.
for open code. Let's see.
All right. I got a few things as we wrap stuff up. I realized that I actually came up with a metaphor for this exact thing like last week and wrote it down in my notes and then forgot that it existed. So I'm going to just throw it out here. I saw this reel where somebody was like, "Here's how to make your own, like, quit buying meat sticks at the store." You know, like the most familiar one is the, um, oh, I can't even remember the brand name anymore because I don't use it, but it's Slim Jim. There it is.
No.
But I love meat sticks because there's this brand that I found called Chomp, and they're really good. I love them. But I saw this
I
reel
love
that was like, "Why are you buying your meat sticks at the store? Here's how to make it at home." And it was like using a smoker, and like you were making your own like meat sticks and putting them on the smoker for like a few hours and like drying them out, blah blah blah, whatever, all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, because people don't want to make their own meat. Like some people do. Some people may want to make their meat sticks from scratch, but like most people just want to find a good brand that they like. Even
Yep.
if you know how to make something. Great.
Yep.
I know how to make like really good cookies. But does that mean that I'm gonna like always make cookies? I might just go buy one if I want one because I don't want to deal with making all of it. You know, like no matter how old an industry is, there's always going to be a place for handmade, made by themselves type things. And also just like the brands that everybody like just goes out and buys off the shelf
Mm.
kind of stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, that was, I just saw that and I was like, also like, I was like, this is stupid. Why would anyone want to make their own meat sticks? Just go buy them at the store. This is like, it's such a, like, it's not even that great of a snack, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's not that like if you're gonna spend time like hours smoking something, like do like like do something good, not meat sticks, you
Do something
know?
good.
Anyway, so it's just like, ugh. And then like how bad is it that like I saw that reel and then just immediately just was like oh, this applies to like the AI thing, you know, like current AI landscape.
It is. It
um
is funny because it's like there's like I think we talked about it a little bit, but like I've bought more software and like it was like people think, oh, like AI is expensive. I have bought more things to build software, mostly AI, but like
right.
also just like you know
Little
like
tools, yeah,
like
little
yeah
neat things,
tools,
yeah,
packages, starter kits. Like I've bought more in the last year than I have in the last 5 years, and so like it's one of those things where like I
facts,
think even though I could build them all, I still like knowing, oh, like here's this like neat little thing. I don't have to do this. I'm
right,
buying it.
yep,
I've noticed
I
that
want
for
to build
music
it
too
on this
recently.
other outcome,
Yeah.
yep, alright,
I'm starting to now understand of like, oh, hey, here's the reason why this paid plugin exists for music. Because I know how hard it is to get that specific thing that I want. So I'm gonna buy
yes,
it.
I'm starting to feel that very, very vividly. Alright, a couple things to end the show, um, that I've have you seen this?
I have not, no.
Okay, it's
Actually,
very
I think I did.
similar to
I think I
your
did. Yes.
open, the one that you just shared, what was it?
Yeah.
Open
Open
usage?
usage.
Okay, that one's really cool. This one's really cool too. It's kind of that same thing where it's just like it gives you more like insight into like your usage of stuff. It is a super cool project. Benji is also an awesome follow. He's the one who came up with I think it's pronounced agentation. There it is. Yep. Which is like
Yeah, yeah,
the
okay.
pop over that goes over your like UI and you just like
Mm,
click an
yep.
element and then tell the thing what's wrong with it and it goes off and like gives more context to your AI chat to like tweak and improve your design. And like he's got like he's head of design at base, but he's just like he is putting out good like side projects, like some of
Mm,
the best. So like you should check out Benji, his profile, his stuff that he's doing. Readout is a really cool product. Um, and just like some of the stuff that you could do, like this, the one that I just was this is this the one? Yes. Um, there's one that I saw, maybe it's this one. This one, yes, right here, where you can do session replays. Like you can go back to a previous chat that you had with AI and
ooh,
see at what point it edit like what file changes it made, where it made them, like the conversation that happened at that like point in time. And I'm just one, like this is cool, but two, it
yeah.
was just like what you said, where it's like there is so much there inside of these that you can like get access to. You just don't know it's there. Like I didn't know, like theoretically, sure, I probably could have figured
Yeah.
this out, but I never really thought about it. But just like this ability to like replay sessions, look through sessions, like all that data exists and stays there for you to like look through anytime you want. Which is like interesting.
That is wild.
This is like another, when I like had that spiral, this was like one that I read where I was like, dang it. Like it's never been easier to build an app and people have never been less interested in downloading one. Like
Ooh,
that
I
is
saw
really
that one
true.
too.
Like unless the product helps you either make money or get laid, people are generally not interested. Like that's like the way like you're like, I bought tons of stuff for helping me build more stuff because it's like, oh, well, this is how I make my money. This is my career. So like I'm going to download a bunch of these little tools and things because it helps me do more of what I like do for my career. But like otherwise, it's just like, great, you built that thing. Like who cares? You know, like there's so many people making things. So that was like one interesting one that I saw. This one was nice. This one was like a nice swing back in the other direction. He was like reading to his son and this reminder, which was like robots are unbeatable at many repetitive tasks, but people play a big role in installing tricky parts, checking for faults, solving unexpected problems. And I was like, we love children's books. Like, thank you for bringing us back down to reality. And I was like, that was a good one. And then this one, which was like, yeah, I feel this too. The boring React code I wrote on a plane was much, much better than the UI code that I've been generating with bots. And like the interesting part that he like calls out was just like reading through all of it. It was so easy and quick for somebody who's experienced to be like, okay, I can remove like a giant percentage of this code because these are all the same patterns. And I liked this one at the end where he was like, when I landed, I just asked the bots, like I made these changes in a small area. Then afterwards, like after I identified the pattern and like nailed it down, I pointed the bots at it and said like, hey, I refactored this pattern. Here's the patterns and things to look out for. Do it everywhere else. And he was like, the bots crushed that and it did like really good. Oh, but he's saying it didn't work really well. Oh wait, it did good. Ooh, let me read this again. When I landed, I asked the bots to apply the same decisions across the rest of the app, which it did great at, but asking it to apply the same style structural changes to other parts of the app didn't work as well. Interesting.
That's interesting.
So yeah. There is always room for humans in the loop. And then this one was interesting too that I saw. When you think of feature A, your job is to recognize that it's actually a special case of feature X. And if you implement feature X, it unlocks features A, B, and C all at the same time. Like that's like bigger thinking. Like what you're solving is not just this one problem. Like your job is realizing okay, all of these things that we're hearing, these features that we're hearing are all some version of this underlying foundational thing that we can implement that then make these other things easier. And we don't have to implement 3 separate versions of those things. They can all rely on that same underlying foundation. Like that's our job. Like it has always been our job, but even more so, like that is like an extremely important part of our job. But yeah. And then like this just happens to be up because I'm trying to figure out what to do to the giant empty wall.
Giant space you got. It's a canvas.
Yeah, I'm excited to
blank canvas.
That wall figured out.
There you go.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. What do you got going on? What do you got going on next week? Or the end of this week, next week?
Yeah, this week, next week, the rest of the week, I'm gonna try and make a song. I'm gonna try to do one of those 12-bar things. Even though I don't have the thing that I want, I think I'm going to try and make, actually, I think what I'm going to try to do is quickly prototype, like just get something up working that gives me, not in the same, like I want to do something that's not in the same code base as my DAW and like get a prototype version of my music prototyping thing and play around with it because I don't think I'll land on a final version of it that I want to integrate until I've tried using it
Yeah.
and messed around with some stuff. So I'm gonna like try to just super vibe code of a prototype, try a few different things, and then like I'm doing it all as like a modifications on this. Like, how can I
Ooh, okay.
use
Yeah.
the MIDI controller that I have, but just make it easier to do like chords and like other things.
Mm,
And then I'm gonna try to like start making those like 12 bar songs, I guess.
yeah.
Things. That's what
I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
be up to.
There you go.
What about
Yeah, I
you?
think like end of this week. Like personally, I don't know if I got too much going on. There's some things that I've found when you're like my app that I'm building for my Keytar, effectively
Mhm.
named Keyframe,
You
because
were
I'm
gonna
not calling it a
launch it in
Keytar.
the App Store. How close
Yeah,
are you
I'm
to doing
going. I'm close. There's like a couple more bugs that I'm trying to figure out.
that? Right.
There and they all exist within. It's hard to tell if like it is my hardware
Right.
or just how I'm playing it or if it's like the app. And there's like
Right.
also like some small like things. But for the most part, it is like 90% playable and also very capable for like what I want in the sense of like it replaces 3 apps that
Mhm.
I would have had to do otherwise.
Nice.
So like that is like the end of my I want to get that finished by this week because I wanted to perform with it this weekend.
Yeah.
Um, which would be fun. And so like it's like it's almost there. It's almost there.
So close.
So I want to finish
Fun.
that. And then the other thing that uh I want to work on is I want to try to understand a little bit more. What's up, Cameron? How you doing?
Dude,
Derek.
I love
That's
this.
Cam.
Look at these buddies. Bros
Just,
hanging out in the chat. Look at
just
that
some
pump that Derek's here. Yeah, Derek's working on like a Bible notes app that's like really
I
good.
saw that. It looks
Yeah.
good. Looks good. I am the next thing I'm wanting to learn and kind of understand a little bit more is facial recognition. I don't
Ooh.
know how that plays in with AI. So that's one thing that I'm gonna start learning. And I don't really have any use case for it other than I want to I want to maybe like have some fun um within I don't know if I can do this within like an OBS plugin or if I actually have to build my StreamYard competitor before I do this. But I want to do it where like a way where like the closer I move to the camera, I want it to like zoom in a little
Mm,
bit or
you
like
know what you
zoom
need,
out
right?
or like yeah, or like just little things of like if I if I'm like standing like over here and I press my zoom in or zoom out button, I want it to like click to my face instead. So like
Yeah.
little stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I know exactly what you need to check out.
TensorFlow.
Maybe, but probably not.
Probably not. There you go.
All right. We're just gonna we're at the end of the show. We're just gonna throw this on here and we'll figure it out. All right. AA, I think is yep. Here we go.
AA.
This guy, measure_plan. This dude's sick.
All
Um,
right.
and all the stuff that he does is based on oh, what's the name? I don't know what it is, but this is where you need to go because he does all of these projects like this where they're all based on exactly what you're talking about.
Ooh, yeah.
The hand movements. There's a library that does all of this for you.
See,
Um,
imagine if like I could
so it
literally
can know
edit
if
my
your face
videos.
and it can give like you can program stuff based off of exactly what you're talking about. Like where's my face in the camera? How far away is my face? How close is my face? Um, his stuff is really awesome. And he does like a lot of like he does a lot of like hand motion stuff. So like check his stuff out because
That's sick.
he talks about what he uses a lot. And then another really cool person who does um this kind of stuff is Kat, the poet engineer underscore. Her stuff is super awesome, but she does just a lot of different style things. But she did one that was, yeah, like this, where
You should get
like,
in the affiliate link for these. I'm already buying it. Purchased. $10 lifetime access for fun with computer vision. Easy.
Yes. So sick stuff, and like sick people to just follow in general, especially if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But they come up with all sorts of really cool stuff.
That's slick. I love it. Now I know what I'm doing this week, next week.
Heck yeah. All right.
What's up, Nuno?
That's it.
You
Nuno
came right at
rolls
the right
into the
time.
end.
I know.
That does look cool. Oh,
I love
anything else before we wrap up? It's been a great Wednesday. I'm about to go. Today was leg day, and let me just tell you that like leg day is like the worst day.
Mm.
I hate legs.
No one loves leg day. No one loves leg day.
All right, I need to show you this real quick before we go. Also dope. All right, so Jeff, who was on here, this is that ortho project that he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like an animated scene. So like this is based off of like, I need to pull up this thing that he sent me. All right, I'm going to download it so I can. Here we go. This is so sick. All right, let's see if you can see it here. All right, so this is what is happening.
Okay.
The tool that he's built is just a like 2D vector editor, and then he's just added inside of the tool like different ways to like model flat vectors in 3D space. So like with this one, it's just like all he's doing is he has two circles and he's animating one circle over with like a Boolean operation to like do a cutout.
Yeah.
And then like what his tool does is he turns these circles into like 3D space. And then his choice here was like have it like rotating and be like repeated in like a wheel. But yeah, y'all should check out this ortho. I'm going to remove all this stuff after so you can see just the homepage. But yeah, ortho, it's really cool. You should check it out.
That's wild.
It's like, it's so fun to play around with.
I love it. Well, Jeff, you're crazy.
Jeff be cray, as they say. Oh.
Now import that into Rive and then have that go into my Figma
Dude,
file.
I need to try
Rive.
Rive. I've been hearing Rive all over the place, but I've not gotten into any of it.
Seems like your kind of tool. I've only
like
looked at it. Yeah.
But I'm too deep into music. I'm not going to start getting into like motion graphics right now. I got to stay on one train for a little bit.
One train. Well, do music as motion graphics. There you go.
Dude, don't tempt me with a good time. Do not tempt me with a good time because synthesizers are just oscillator data, and that would be so perfect for like a graphic.
As soon as I saw that computer, like fun with computer vision thing, I immediately thought, okay, well, I could use it to like edit my videos. Because imagine if I just went like boop and like I could, save it or something like that. I could do that, or I could like make an instrument,
got it,
and just like start like DJing. Like imagine if I could
full conductor mode.
Yeah, full conductor mode for our own riff and refine like pre-show music.
Absolutely. Guitar Hero 2026. Bring back Guitar Hero. Dude, I legit had that. So like I was thinking of like fun designs for I'm going to stop after this one for the DAW. And I was like for MIDI, like adding MIDI notes and like doing like MIDI editing.
Yeah.
Like usually they have like a playhead that like moves along the notes kind of thing. But I was like, how cool would it be as if like the notes just float into the piano, like on those like games, and then did like in Guitar Hero when you hit the note and it like sparkles and like highlights the note. I'm like, that would be really cool for like when the note is currently playing, it like has like this like cool like sparkle glow effect or whatever. I'm like, it'd be so fun.
Yeah, I love that.
Anyway, who knows? We'll come up with all fun ideas and then we'll share them here. Thank you all for coming today. We're going to wrap things up. But man, it's nice not having to rush away to make sure I'm not late to pick up Allie.
There you go.
So less stressed.
Wednesdays can work out. I'm glad we riffed.
Great. Thank y'all all for coming to hang out. Y'all have a good rest of your week. We will see you next week.
Everyone. See you next week.